All the grade 7 students, a very warm welcome to all of you. Let us continue with our journey of plant life lesson. Till now we have seen how the autotrophs, that means the green plants, are able to prepare the food with the help of photosynthesis process. Now what happens in the case of when plants are not having any chlorophyll and they are not able to prepare their own food. Okay, so next type of nutrition after autotrophs is heterotrophic. Heterotrophic nutrition is a type of nutrition in which an organism depends on other organisms directly or indirectly for their food. Such organisms are called heterotrophs. So, the organisms which are not able to prepare their own food and depend directly or indirectly on the plants for food, okay, are called as heterotrophs. Now, heterotrophic nutrition in plant is of the following types: parasitic nutrition, symbiotic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition, and insectivorous plants. Okay, so these are the types of organisms. Those are going to derive the food in various forms. Let us see. First is parasitic nutrition. You can see now, and nowadays in the rainy season it's quite prevalent. Okay, this kind of plantation or vegetation you can see all around you. In this type of nutrition, an organism lives on or inside the body of another living organisms called the host to obtain nutrition directly from the host body. Okay, so you can see this climber twining upon this particular leaf, so it is trying to derive all the nutrition from that particular leaf. Example is dodder, is a parasitic plant growing on the bodies of other. So if you have a look around you in the bushes and the grasses, you can always find this dodder plant. Autotrophic plants, dodder possesses special sucking roots called haustoria, which penetrate into the host body to reach the conducting tissues to extract the food. We all know that phloem is the one to transport the food in the plants. So it will go deep down, those haustoria sucking roots will go deep down into the plants to extract the food from the plants. That is why they are called as parasitic. Okay, let us see what is the next type now. Next is saprophytic nutrition. In this type of nutrition, an organism feeds on the dead remains of other organisms. Such organisms are called saprophytes. Okay, so best example is mushroom. You can see Indian pipe lacks chlorophyll, accounting for its translucent white color. So it's all white in color, and this is the Indian pipe plant, which I have these pictures coming from the internet trying to show how the roots going deep down and they grow on the dead and decaying matter and trying to extract the food from that. Because it cannot synthesize its own energy, this plant is a saprophyte, just like a fungus. Its root system soaks up the necessary nutrients from the surrounding dead decaying plant. Okay, also we can say that mushroom is a great example where it grows into the dead and decaying parts. Okay, Indian pipe is example given in the textbook. Okay, here it is given no fungus, so it is mushroom is a kind of a fungus if you're not knowing about it. Okay, so saprophytic nutrition is a type of nutrition in which the organisms will be growing on the dead and decaying matter. From that dead and decaying matter also they are able to extract certain food. Okay, let us see what is the next kind of nutrition. It is symbiotic nutrition. Symbiosis is a relationship between two individuals living together for mutual benefit. So you can say there are two friends coming and getting along together and they have a nice give and take relationship. Such kind of organisms, those who depend on each other for their food, is called as symbiosis. Okay, example, association between rhizobium, a nitrogen fixing bacterium, and leguminous plants. Yes, so example is a nitrogen fixing bacterium, which these small nodules, can you see small nodules or nodes? They are the nodes having nitrogen fixing bacteria inside that. So when they come in contact with the soil having nitrogen, it will convert the nitrogen into nitrates, which will become like a fertilizer for the growth of the plant. And in turn, what happens, that bacteria gets a place to live over there in the root section of the plant. So this is how they are able to manage to survive by having a mutual relationship to survive. Okay, so this is how they have a give and take relationship. The bacterium is fixing the nitrogen, and in place it is getting a place to live. So this is the kind of symbiotic relationship. Next is insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants, I hope you have already studied before. Okay, so these are the special group of plants that are partially autotrophic and partially heterotrophic. Like all other green plants, they have green leaves that can carry out photosynthesis, but that is simply not enough. Okay, or you can say it lacks the nitrogen somehow. Still it is not able to get a very important nutrient, which is nitrogen. For having that, they have these extra facilities where they can trap the insects and digest them, and that is how they get the nitrogen. Okay, so in order to satisfy their nitrogen demand, they trap insects by various methods and digest them. The leaves are very variously modified by capturing insects. They can be pitcher shaped, just like in pitcher plant. They can have trap doors like in bladderwort, or maybe hinged, just like in Venus flytrap, or bear sticky substances, just like in sundew plant, for trapping the insects. So various plants are having various kind of modifications to trap the insects somehow, and then it gets digested and it derives a nutrient nitrogen from it. Okay, digestive enzymes secreted by the insectivorous plants then digest the trapped insects. So there are certain enzymes, because it is still a plant, it will need some strong enzymes to break this this insects into smaller parts and suck up the nutrient from it. So it has got some digestive enzymes to help it out. Okay, so this was all about insectivorous plants. There are these names of the plants mentioned here, and this is a picture which will help you to understand. See, this is a sticky trap sundew, this is a pitcher trap, then this is a Venus flytrap, this is the bladderwort. Okay, these are the examples for the insectivorous plants. I'm going to post this PDF in the group so you can have a very proper look at this later. So once the food is prepared, then comes respiration for the release of the energy. So we have seen what are autotrophic and what are heterotrophic plants. We are now going to see once the food is prepared, it needs a further processing. Okay, so the further process is what? Respiration. Respiration process helps to break down the food and release energy that is used for various activities. Obviously, we also have food and then we feel energetic, right? Because that energy comes from the breaking down of the food with the help of oxygen. So what is respiration? The process by which food or the glucose is oxidized to produce carbon dioxide, water, and release energy. Fine? Yeah. And carbon dioxide is given out through our lungs, and then energy is been stored in our cells, which is used to perform various activities. So what are the steps of respiration now? Okay, respiration involves a series of chemical reactions in which food is broken down to release energy. So it is not a single step, it consists of a series of steps. Okay, this reaction takes place pretty much in cytoplasm of the cell, and partly it will take in cytoplasm and partly in the mitochondria, that is the cell organelle. So when I said that series of steps, that means in short it is two steps. First in cytoplasm, second in mitochondria. Okay, so the basic steps, let us see. Air containing oxygen is taken into the plant body through the stomata. So now that oxygen has entered into the stomata, in the plant cells the chemical reaction occurs in which the food molecules are acted upon by the oxygen and broken down into carbon dioxide and water. This we are talking about respiration and not photosynthesis. Okay, once the oxygen element is available and the food is there in the leaf, now the food is going to get oxidized, okay, with the help of oxygen, and this is how energy will be given away. Just like if we break something, a little heat is given out. So here the heat is being given out, which is energy, and it is also giving out carbon dioxide and water. The energy that is released is stored in the form of energy rich molecules called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So that energy, it is termed as ATP molecules. Okay, they are small molecules, everything is molecule, right? So this energy, if we call them in terms of molecule, is called as adenosine triphosphate. Okay, These are the energy currency of the cells and are used to carry out various life functions. Just like we have so many activities, unlike plants, animals need much more energy for locomotion, for looking out for food, for killing, hunting. For human beings, we have so many other activities to work, to play, to dance, work out. So we need a lot of energy. So this energy is nothing but ATP molecules. Okay, they are called as energy currency of the cells. The waste products, carbon dioxide and water in the form of water vapor, are released to the stomata. So in case of plants, now CO2 is not required. In the case of plants, it is given away again through the stomata. We have lungs to give out, right? So plants have got the stomata itself. It will open up and the CO2 is released into the atmosphere. Okay. Now, there is one factual coming up. The plant cells have fewer mitochondria as compared to animal cells, as they require less energy. Just now I told you, like animals are going to require more energy. Plants are fixed at a place. Okay, so they have only the metabolic activities to carry out, just like digestion and respiration and all, not locomotion. So that is a very reduced activity. So they do not need much of an energy. Plants are able to convert solar energy in making food by photosynthesis. The food made by them fulfills most of their energy requirements. So this is enough. Photosynthesis is enough for them to produce so much of energy that is going to satisfy all the energy requirements. Since animals have to move from one place to another, they require more energy than plants. And muscle cells in animals have the most mitochondria. Why? Because muscles are used mostly, right? Muscles are being used for walking, jumping, hopping and everything. Fine. So now that is the end of the today's session. Please read the lesson repeatedly, learn the definitions continuously. All of you have a very nice day ahead. Okay. And now please solve the assignment and give the Google test and solve the assignment from the textbook exercise. Fine children, have a very nice day ahead. Take care of yourself. See you soon.